Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails with me, your most notorious groupie, Allison Rouse, author of We've Got Tonight, The Life and Times of Notorious Groupie. That's right, me, these other little ebooks you guys know. And you know already it's going to be a podcast episode, but it's going to be a good one, guys. So stay tuned, hang out, listen to what's happening. It's going to be kind of revisiting. So anyway, where you can get my books, where you can get my merchandise, everything down in that description. So go down and fiddle about, you guys. And you know, I'm always going to start my episodes being so thankful for everybody here, for all the cool people that I'm meeting, all the new members that I'm meeting, and you guys conversing with me and just really making this an awesome community. I cannot even tell you how amazing, how lucky, how much love I'm feeling from the family here. And we keep adding to it. It's truly amazing. Thank you guys so much. And you guys, like I said, this is going to be a revisiting of an episode that I did on the groupie series called the one about Josette Caruso. And there will be pictures of the conversation that she sent me in the comments here. I've hidden her from the channel, which means basically we can't see her, but she can see us. So, hey! Anyway, so this is going to be a follow-up about that because she reached out to me. So, you guys know I'm going to fucking talk about it. You're coming on the journey with me. And because you guys do come on the journey with me. And today we're going to sing out loud. We're going to sing proud like it is the opera. And today's cocktail is going to be a little local called Madame Petrini Gin. And this is a pre-canned Madame Petrini gin and tonic. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of the gin and tonic, but I really dig the story behind Madame Petrini. He was a son of the legendary Joseph Smith, one of the founders of the Mormon Church here in Utah. And he went around and sang opera and stuff as a woman and was touted as a woman and just praised and praised and praised. And all the while, this was a man from Joseph Smith, the Mormons here in Utah. So us locals here in Utah, who are always controlled by the church in this state, as are the liquor laws, we went ahead, well, we didn't, but they went ahead and they made a gin after this, Madame Petrini, to let Utah remember its diverse background and what they tend to rally against now. So everybody grab your Petrinis, hit that high note, and let's have a little cocktails or rocktails. Cheers, big ears. Okay, let me drink this. Hold on. Okay, no. I don't know. This is a toss-up. I'm not a gin drinker. This is a really good, I can taste the lime. The gin is the Madame Petrini gin is supposed to be an excellent gin. But I'm just not a gin drinker, so I don't know, you guys. Tell me what you think. If you find Madame Petrini in your state, let me know. It's really good stuff. But okay, so like I said, we're going to do kind of a follow-up to the groupie series about Josette Caruso. Like I said, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I said that in the previous video. I'll put the link to that video down in the description. So you guys can kind of watch that. And then you guys can pause to read because I do have pictures of all the comments. And I'm going to go ahead and post them so you guys can read them. But I'm just not going to talk about them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to revisit the one article that I really found about her that she's talking about. So, and this was written by, what is her name? Katja Hoffman. All right, this is August of 2001 for the Independent out of the UK. The title is, and again, the link to this will be down in the description. It says, I was a teenage groupie, but my daughter says I'm all right now. Now, when you read that first post and her first comment, she does talk about that. So you're using your own daughter in this, and no, my mind never goes there, where her mind went. That was not my insinuation at all. So go ahead. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about the comments. They're there for you guys to read. You can see my responses. And the last one is right before I hid her from the channel. Because when you hide some from the channel, you don't block them. You just block seeing them. Like, we can't see her, but she can see us. So everybody raise your hand and say, hey. Anyway, okay. So let's kind of read the whole article. Because as we know, As if you look at one of the last things, she's like, you have no idea everything I've done to fight for the groupie name. Oh, please, bitch. Read this article. You've done nothing, because it is a degrading article. So let's go ahead and kind of read it, because let's read the whole article. I did not do, and we'll break it down. I did not read the whole article in the last, I had already read the whole article, but I did not read it for the last episode. So, okay, give me a second. Let's get this going. Okay, so this Katya person starts out, and as you see in previous comments, you'll see when you pause to read this, she does say that Katya is a very talented journalist. And 80s ladies, you 80s guys, musicians, put your comments down in that and down here and below, because let me see how you feel about the verbiage that this Katya uses. This incredibly talented. So once upon a time, no rock band was complete without a cachet of beautiful girls hidden behind the amplifiers. Girls who were more than happy to put out and didn't ask for anything in return. Although the breed is not entirely extinct, the groupie, part fan, part geisha, part prostitute. Excuse me? Okay, there's the first indication of how this article is going to go. Because as someone that has been called prostitute, hooker, murderer, and druggie for 21 years, and you guys all know here how much I fight tooth and nail against that kind of stigma of groupies. But here, this Hosette person is saying that this is a beautifully written article. Well, we can all see in the first fucking 3 seconds, no, it's not. So part prostitute was essentially a phenomenon of the 70s that pre-AIDS, post-pill ward of drug-saturated concupiscence. And this week, the exploits of one of that decade's most famous groupies, Bebe Buell, ex-model, Playboy centerfold, and mother of actress Liv Tyler, will be published in the U.S. Rebel Heart, an American rock and roll journey, has already ignited controversy for its frank account of the 70s rock and roll lifestyle, and brought blushes to several of its central players. Elvis Costello, Rod Stewart, Mick Jagger, David Bowie. Yet still the book does not explain what it takes to be a groupie. The cocktail of blind naivety, lasciviousness, and adulation that compels pretty young girls to sleep with skinny egomaniacs for absolutely no emotional return. So we can already see that this author, while she's interviewing Hosette, she's really not centering this article on her as a groupie. She's kind of like promoting the idea of Bebe Buell's book, because like I said, this is August 2001. And when I did this video on Hosette originally, like I said, I didn't find very much, but this is the article I read for that actual episode. So someone who has all these qualities in abundance is Hosette Caruso. 30 years ago, she was a slim brunette with a big smile and a taste for outrageous, sexy outfits. So the author kind of slams her there and she doesn't realize it. Someone who has all these qualities. So 30 years ago, she was a slim brunette with a big smile and a taste for outrageous outfits. But what is she now? Okay, then given this is 22 years ago and she's only in her 40s at the time, she's in her around 70, 71 now. But that's kind of a slam. 30 years ago, she was a slim brunette, but what is she now? That when this reminds me of little things that the lady who did my interview for the Mail on Sunday, an actual tabloid, that these were little slams she put in there to kind of show her disdain for the likes of me. So, wow, that's kind of a little backwater backstab, if you ask me. So one of Josette's favorites outfit was a long silver sequin dress cut very low at the back, which sounds like a really cute dress, right? David Bowie took one look at her in it and she says, and declared, "I can see myself in you." Typical cheesy pickup line, but cool beans. Now, Hosette said she was in the room while David Bowie got offered some meal corpse or whatever, I'm not sure. And he said no, which, okay, whatever. I can see myself in you. That's a pickup line. And that wasn't like some deep, oh, baby, I can see myself in your eyes. No, he wasn't even looking at your face. He was just using a pickup line, and that line was all it took. So today at 48, Josette's wardrobe is a little less provocative, but she is still dark and petite and still a self-confessed groupie. Like Buell, she was a permanent fixture of the 70s New York scene. We were a small, elite group of girls, and I was very proud to be called a groupie. When I say that today, some people will jump down my throat, but they don't understand. I feel special. I had been with David Bowie. To me, that was special, and I get that. We all get that. You know, they make our little butterflies flutter, but you know what she's not saying is they were lucky to be with her, like us 80s ladies always say. They were just as lucky to be with us because we weren't star fucking them. And I don't so far hear anything of significance. So to me that was special and she also says that she had, in her comments as you stop and read them, that she does so much for the groupie name. She doesn't do anything for the groupie name. It astounds me that she thinks she's some outspoken advocate for groupiedom and for the strength of women's provocativeness or whatever, you know. So to me, she's not, because what is she doing? She's posting pictures of her daughter backstage about being handcuffed. But that comes into play later. Anyway, so at a time when rock and roll had yet to be absorbed fully into the customer mainstream, stars like Bowie or Mick Jagger were youth culture royalty. Josette was a sexually inexperienced 16-year-old from New Jersey. Like most teenagers, she was obsessed with rock stars. One day in 1969, she found herself sitting in a restaurant adjacent to the Fillmore East, Bill Graham's famous New York concert hall. Nearby sat Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page and that other prominent British guitar strangler of the day, Jeff Beck. Josette approached them, trembling. Page took her by the hand, pulled her onto his lap, and asked her to come to his room later. She consented. What else was I going to do, she says now. Here I was on Jimmy Page's lap. It was my fantasy come true. Josette stayed with Page for several days, knowing full well that her single mother, whose only child she was, would desperately be worried. And again, this is something I approached because my mom was the same way, so I kind of identified. And I didn't slam her in this last episode, and Josette acts like I just ripped her world apart, which I didn't. And we all know I didn't. So I was actually doing her a solid. I was like, yeah, this chick rocks, but you know what? After seeing her attitude, after seeing how she ripped me, and then she went on my Amazon page without reading my book and called me a whore, all kinds of things, which is since been removed because, like I said, I already called my lawyer sweetie. And by the looks of what my lawyer found when he was deciding whether or not to serve you, when we were talking about it and we were planning our next step in the plan, you couldn't afford my lawyer, sweetheart. Oh my God. So anyway, but that comes into play. If you read her comment, she said, I was so jealous of her professional. I don't know what she does. I never said what she did. I never said anything about a professional. I was merely focusing on her life as a groupie. And this article here, like I said, so far, I'm just, I'm already just pissed about her being compared to prostitute, stuff like that. That's degrading enough, but it doesn't stop there. Okay, so when Led Zeppelin came back to New York to play Madison Square Garden, Josette asked her mother to meet the band and bring her some clothes. She expected to be dragged home immediately. Instead, her mother was all smiles and went home, apparently quite content for her daughter to cuddle up with the group. Years afterwards, I asked her, why did you let me do that? Her answer brought tears to my eyes. She said she was afraid of that if she didn't let me, I would leave her. Well, she was already leaving her. And at least I went home and got my own clothes. Our mom would pick us up though. But so I understand that. I'm not going to knock that. So other bands followed when the Led Zeppelin tour finished. Before then, boys had not really been a part of my life, but suddenly it just snowballed, says Josette. There was always a new band coming to town. I met Deep Purple 10 years after, and all the other British bands of the time. She left high school and became a full-time party girl. So I don't think Josette realizes that is not a compliment. So she left high school, so she didn't get her education. People say that about me, but I actually was in beauty college my senior year, high school in my senior year, all at the same time, and working at Burger King and partying with bands. So that's a difference between Josette and I. She seems to never have worked for much so far because her mother was her sole support. And she just decided, I'm quitting high school and I'm going to go just be a party girl. So this makes it sound like she's just some dumb fucking mattress. You know what I mean? She's just something for the rock stars to lay on top. And Josette doesn't see that. So that to me, don't come attacking me when this article is the embarrassment, not my review, which was actually a nice review in which I gave her props and said, this chick rocks. Well done her. She just focused on one thing that never even crossed my mind, and it came to hers. But again, that comes to play in a minute. So when other bands followed the Led Zeppelin like Deep Purple, she left high school, became a full-time party girl, continuing to live at home, supported financially by her mother, who took phone messages if bands wanted to see Josette. Okay, this is kind of just Josette's word and how she says it, and okay, whatever. But like I said, so far, because Josette says I'm extremely jealous of her career accomplishments and her success, but like I said, I don't know what her success is. I couldn't find that. I wasn't trying to look that far. I was focusing specifically on the groupie side to her life. Again, never said what her profession was, what she did. This doesn't either. And so far, I'm not seeing any profession yet. And like I said, this coming from a girl who was in beauty college in the daytime, high school at night, Burger King somewhere in between on the weekends, and partying with bands all around that. So far I'm just seeing, this is a girl who got lazy and egotistical and thought she was going to get this big free ride by marrying a rock star. And she says she doesn't want to marry one. So that's, but I don't know what she was thinking dropping out of high school. And so far, she and I are two totally different forms of how we approached our groupie life. I didn't demand my mother of anything. I was very independent, and I didn't have sole support from my mother. I made my own money. So the groupie's attitude to sex was that it constituted a currency to be traded for a share in the Olympian glamour radiated by the rock star. Josette maintains that there was nothing wrong with the way she used her body. The sexual revolution was all happening. Sex was good. I was living out fantasies. For example, I saw Ian Gillan from Deep Purple on the cover of Circus magazine, and I fell in love with him. I called his hotel and told him I wanted him, and he just invited me up. It was that easy. So, okay, and this is a different thing between she and I think, because I was very direct and forward, but I wasn't just going to serve myself up on a platter for these guys. And she did that. So that kind of makes the guys approach you differently. So, okay, what now seems like a form of prostitution was, according to Josette, an empowering experience. So, again, here's that use of prostitution. And the author, who she calls so talented and a good friend, is degrading her, calling her, this is a form of prostitution. You're sleeping with these guys for a $5 backstage pass and to sit on their fucking plane and to live their lavish lifestyle. Well, that's not what she was paying for, because that comes a little bit down in the article as well. So again, here this Katya is calling this a form of prostitution, while Josette is trying to say it was empowering. She said, I could scope somebody out and be in bed with him in 15 minutes if I wanted to. I knew who was in town, where they would be, and if I wanted to do them was up to me. It was like magic. And like I said in the previous, I get that because that was my attitude toward it. I always say it was my game. It wasn't the rock stars. So in a world where she never had any reason to doubt her own choices, and in an environment where it was normal for a woman to be feted for merely being decorative, Josette claims she felt in control of her life. It seems hard to believe, but Josette says she was never looking for love. Because again, I always say, like the 70s chicks like Scamming Les Pars, she always said, we wanted to marry the rock stars. Oh, fuck no, honey. They are not for marrying. They make great lovers and great friends. And by lovers, I don't mean what just happens in the bed. I mean the relationship you cultivate with the person you're sharing a sexual relationship with. Because a sexual relationship isn't just about a booty call. It's about maintaining a friendship. It's about doing things together. It's about feeling a comfort and being caught up in that little butterflies era. and not moving past that. That's what a lover really is. So initially, she never had harbored any ambition to become the girlfriend or wife of any of the rock stars she slept with, and neither did I, so I get that. This may sound like self-delusion, but Josette is insistent. I think I was so well liked by everyone because I wasn't trying to get an I love you out of them. I didn't love them. But I'm not hearing like long-term relationships, or maybe the author cut this out. I don't know. Again, I'm not hearing long-term relationships, but the next paragraph says so much to me. And it will a lot of other 80s groupies, because we hear something like this and we're like, what? Oh, fuck no, nobody would ever do this to me. So initially, Josette insists there were never any bad moments, that it was just a free sex and very frivolous, and that she was well respected. But as we talk, more cracks begin to show. Even at the height of the sexual revolution, the rules of the groupie game were still set by men, and none of the girls was invulnerable. As to where, again, I talk about the 80s ladies, and we set our own rules. We flip the boys upside down. So Josette recalls how, during a Deep Purple tour, Ian Gillan rejected her one day, and she found herself stranded in the middle of nowhere without a cent to her name. So what? Okay, again, we're going to approach this. Because Josette is so just focused on something she construed out of me, like saying she parties with her daughter, and I don't mean party in like any type of no way other than taking your daughter and getting her drunk and hanging out, and that's the only way I ever meant it. So there she is on the side of the road without a cent to her name. I can tell you, sweetie, no rock star ever ditched me anywhere. Anywhere. Even in New York City, when Marie and I ditched Def Leppard, our plane tickets were still good on the way home, and our hotel rooms were still paid for the next fucking 3 weeks by the band. So don't sit here and tell me that I'm so jealous of all your success and you are such a strong voice for women, because this is like one of the only articles out there. You're not a strong voice for anybody. You're a strong voice for going up your own asshole and believing conspiracies and lies. And how you do not see clearly that this article is a slam, I don't know, Josette. Okay, also, the dynamics within Led Zeppelin soon became difficult. That's an auspicious word. Josette claims Jimmy Page and Robert Plant used to like threesomes. I didn't enjoy that because Robert was demanding and you felt used with him. He just discarded you when he was done. Nevertheless, Josette said she felt like she had no choice but to continue sleeping with them until the drummer John Bonham saved me and made me his girlfriend. Okay, so number one thing wrong with this is, what do you consider girlfriend with John Bonham? And I don't think any drummer would make the girl that's been passed around by his other bandmates his girlfriend. And let's be honest, John Bonham was so drunk he didn't even know how to put on his pants, let alone what he was doing with you. So I want to know if that was a weekend, or what was that, Josette? Come on. Oh, well, that's right. We can't see you. I would say stay down in the comments, but I've blocked her on all social media. So anyway, she says, maybe his girlfriend, when asked how she felt. So then she doesn't elaborate on this. Like, what happened? Like, it's so one-dimensional, it just seems empty. So what happened? Like, how did he make you his girlfriend? For how long? And like I said, John Bonham was such a fucking drunk. Honey, you probably were just a prop up to him and you called yourself his girlfriend. So, okay. She said, when asked how Josette felt after having spent the night with someone that treated her like a prostitute, she shrugs. I would look at myself in the mirror and laugh, she says. Well, it's still Robert Plant, It wasn't some kid for the gas station. So, okay, again, you say you're a voice for groupie strength and for bringing the respect and decency back, and these guys respected you? You're saying these guys respected you? And you're sitting there saying, this girl said you were treated like a prostitute, and you're like, oh, it's okay, it was Robert Plant. It's not okay for anybody to treat another person that way. Period. I don't care if it's Robert Plant. I don't care if it is the kid from the gas station. I don't care if it is Jesus himself. That is not okay. You know what I mean? And still, I'm not seeing any success. I'm not seeing where she's working, going to college, graduating high school, or getting her GED. Nothing. I'm just hearing very flat, one-dimensional, unexplained bullshit that I would look at myself in the mirror and laugh. No, that is not being a strength for the groupie name. I'm sorry. It's okay for them to treat you like a prostitute because they're rock stars. Again, there's the difference between the 70s groupies and the 80s groupies. The 70s groupies said it was okay because, they're rock stars. They're a different breed. No, they're not. They're just men. They're just fucking men, and I do not care. Never once have you ever heard me say anybody made me feel like a prostitute. You have heard me fight for 21 years being called a prostitute, hooker, murderer, and druggie over the whole John situation because I was a stripper. And let me tell you what, with women like this who say that kind of treatment is okay, it's no wonder I got that backlash. What I've had to deal with for 21 years is a direct backlash from this bullshit. So there you guys go. That I just, like I said, and she said this is a beautifully well-written article. She's calling you a prostitute and that you're disposable. Huh. And you think it's okay just because it's Robert Plant. No, sweetie, it's not okay because it's Robert Plant. It's not okay if it's anybody to treat you like that. It's one thing to own your own prowess and have the threesomes you want, but if somebody's making you feel degraded, it's not your choice anymore. Your choice is to get up and walk the fuck out and not be saved by John Bonham and made his girlfriend, because that just doesn't make sense. Like I said, nobody in the band, especially the English boys from back then, is going to slap a collar on you after you've been passed around by the fucking rest of the band. Okay. In the 1980s, Josette took a break from the groupie world. She married a rich businessman with whom she had her daughter. I'm not going to say her daughter's name. Her daughter would be about 43 now. But anyway, so she married a rich businessman. Again, I don't see any successful accomplishments on the career scene. Laying on your back, any five and dime trashy hoe can go marry the man for money. There is nothing that I'm jealous about that. You think I couldn't have married for money? Fuck no, I wouldn't made my own. Thank you so much. And let me address what she put in the comments here. She said, I'm so jealous of her career accomplishments and success, and she doesn't ever have to lower herself to hawk her life with rock stars to make money. What the fuck was this pathetic attempt then? And anybody who knows me, who watches this channel, I can tell you probably didn't even watch that episode, let alone anything else. I did not write a book. I did not start this channel to hawk my life for money. I did it because, again, I was actually dragged through the press. I'm actually part of the Who's history. I'm part of Las Vegas's history. I've been in other books where I was not approached or asked about that night or my relationship with John. So I wrote this book to have my fucking voice, plain and simple. Big difference between you and me, Josette. Because the only reason you ever wanted to write a book is to make the money. Because like I said, when I called my lawyer and we were discussing whether or not to have you served or just go to Amazon and have them remove the disparaging non-verified purchase comments, because what she did once I blocked her from the channel and everybody can't see her and won't answer her comments, she went onto my Amazon book page, did not buy the book, did not read the book, but called me a whore, left a review calling me a whore, saying how badly it was written, because as you can see, she's using all these old, used up, 2-star, 1-star reviews, which every book has 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star. If I get a 3-star and above, I'm happy. She doesn't know this about me because she didn't do her research. But so she intentionally, maliciously goes on there and tries to defame my character and tries to defame my book. So she intentionally goes and does that. But again, Amazon has legalities and community guidelines. You can't call me a whore in a review because it's going to get taken down. So my lawyer and I chose a different route because, like I said, when you're doing your research on someone, let me tell you, sweetie, my lawyers do their research. And they were researching on how to serve you, just like we did Roger Daltrey. When I had Roger Daltrey served, they were playing Las Vegas. irony, isn't it? But anyway, that's a whole other story. So when we were talking about her surf, like I said at the beginning, it's like, really, nah, honey, after you couldn't afford my lawyers. Anyway, and I still don't know what you do, so I'm not jealous of any career success or accomplishments because I still don't know what they are besides I married some rich businessman, which I take this term very loosely because I know some of the shit she's saying below and some of the lies and how she contradicts herself all the time. So how rich was he? I don't know. Are they still together? I don't know. No, they're not together, but is she divorced, widowed? I don't know. So, but that was her career accomplishment so far. So far, this doesn't say anything. All right, so let's keep going. Today, Josette is hitting the backstage areas again. Together with her daughter, who is studying to become a music journalist, she goes to meet the bands of her past. At times, this can be unsettling. When Jeff Beck made a pass at her daughter after one of his concerts, Josette was livid. Why was she livid? Because, let me think. Jeff was making a pass at her daughter after he was like, Josette had become too old for him? Was this why you were livid? I don't know. That's just a thought. It's not a fact. It's just a wonder. But then again, and this is a contradiction, like, don't say that about my daughter. This is another contradiction. She said it was just so empowering. It was me living my life. It was me taking control of my sexuality, my body. I wasn't trying to fall in love with these guys, but when it comes to her daughter, it's degrading to your daughter. So don't let anybody degrade her like that. Which is it? Is groupie powerful or is it degrading, Josette? Because let me tell you, again, that's not being a big, powerful warrior for the groupie name. Still, it kind of, okay. The daughter, in contrast, dismisses the incident. She ignores the sexual attention she gets from musicians and insists that she never sleeps with any of them. I enjoy flirting with them, but if they come on to me, I tell them where to go, the daughter says. But whereas her mother used her sexuality to chase her dreams. What dreams? With the sexuality. I don't even say I wasn't chasing dreams. I was a woman who was, yes, I was living my own life, making my own accomplishments, traveling the world on my own, making my own money, going to college, and so on, have my own interests. My rock star lovers were my lovers that I took as a respite from all that. Because like I said, even in high school and beyond, I was always working. I was always traveling. I was going to beauty college. I was going to high school. I was doing all this stuff. And still I'm not hearing what you've done because, like I said, she married her husband and that's it. That's all that she married a rich man. And then she got mad because Jeff Beck, who she was quote unquote in love with, hit on her daughter. And this is, if she gets mad at me for bringing her daughter up, this is read straight from the article that she allowed her daughter into and that she allowed her daughter to speak to and that she chose to do with this person who wrote a very disgusting, degrading article. So it's like the daughter says, I interview them for my college radio station and to put their picture on my website. Sex is not part of the picture, which is fine. But wasn't there something about handcuffs? Anyway. And you thought it was funny and you were having a good time. Anyway, the sexual revolution is clearly over. The pill has failed to live up to its promise to provide sexual equality, and AIDS has led to a backlash against casual sex. Again, this Katya person wrote this article in such a one-track minded, unresearched, because I talk about that all happening in the 80s because that's when it actually was happening. Josette wasn't even part of the rock scene back then. This was the MTV era. This was the 80s. That was happening to us. And this lady, she says the pill has failed up to its promise to provide sexual equality. Yeah, the pill doesn't do that. The women do. And in the 80s, women were having equality on every level, from career to personal to pay to opportunities to their sexual prowess. We were meeting the guys eye to eye for the first time. And this person who wrote this article just doesn't see that. She's very much manipulated the conversation that she wanted to have, much like Josette did in those comments where she goes and finds those 2-year-old reviews with a 1 star, whatever, and she's trying to throw at me because she thinks it's going to make me all, It's not, honey. All reviews, even the fucking Bible has bad reviews on Amazon. Go check it out. Every book has them. It's a fact of life. And sometimes I like to play with them and be snarky with them on here because it's a good time and it's a good episode. We have fun. But again, just like this article, Josette went out and looked for things that intentionally meant to defame me, intentionally, maliciously meant to try and harm me and throw punches at me. And it seems like this, so maybe they might be friends because birds of a feather, because let me tell you, this person who wrote this article, she is not a great journalist. She is not a great writer. She was a one-tracked mind. And let me tell you, Josette, you did not see the train that hit you. Because if you had any sense of any decency and you were fighting for the name groupie, you would see she was calling you a prostitute. That you were just fucking, oh yeah, the cracks are showing. We're seeing the real side of the dirty, dirty rock and roll. So nowadays, the daughter acts as Josette's chaperone. Yet not even the daughter can stop Josette from getting the occasional teenage kick. Once in a while, Josette still goes off by herself to see one of her past acquaintances and to make sure her good looks are still in working order. What a shallow article. What a shallow, shallow article. I mean, I'm sorry. You want to sit here and say that I meant something degrading by your daughter, which I never meant, because that's just not where my mind goes. I just had a friend in high school whose mom was always buying beer, drinking with the kids, partying, and that's just not naturally right. It's one thing to let your daughter go sow her wild oats and stuff, but no, I don't want to party with my mom. And I'm not saying anything lewd or anything like that. That does not cross my mind. That's not how I mean. I mean getting drunk with your daughter, falling down, flirting with rock stars, stuff like that. That shows me that you don't really have a lot of friends and you rely on your daughter to relive your glory days with you. So that's how I meant that. That's just kind of, and she says that I meant it in a lewd way. That doesn't cross my mind. That's not how we think here. We just don't go there. That's just not something any of us condone or promote or anything like that. That's just disgusting. And anybody whose minds go there are extremely shallow, are extremely limited in their experience, their education, and the reality. So, and that's kind of the end of the article. Like I said, you guys, if you've stopped and read all the comments, you'll see that I'm my typical self back. I'm a bitch. Because I'm not hiding and I'm not trying to do anything malicious or anything like that. I'm just stating my piece. And like I said, if I recall, and you guys can go down and watch the article, I was very cool. And I was like, this chick rocks. I totally identify with what she did. She, owned her womanhood. But now, after talking to her, after really rereading this article, and after a few people who saw the comments sending me things, I beg to differ. I think I gave her too much credit. I gave her credit she just didn't deserve. And like I said, she wants to say she's some big, powerful voice for the groupie and how she gets slighted. We all do, honey. And we get slighted because of articles like that. Because you were being called a prostitute. She said you were being used. And you said it was okay because it was Robert Plant. Absolutely not. That is not a big, strong voice for the groupies. And again, I am not jealous of any career accomplishments because all anything says, and I still haven't done any more research. I don't fucking care, to be honest. I don't care. Because I did that video for content because I thought it would be interesting. Because here was another woman that didn't have the fucking scammy Les Pars attitude, that we wanted to marry the rock stars and they were gods. I wanted to suck the sweat out of Jimmy Page's shirt. You know what I mean? Because she didn't have that attitude. So I had given her props. And then she comes and attacks me for something that I never meant. But I was reading the article going, oh, she parties with her daughter? And now her daughter's her chaperone? Don't you have any friends to go hang out backstage with? I don't go backstage with my nieces or nephews or stuff like that. Don't you have any friends? Go backstage with your friends. Because, yeah, there's just something kind of psychologically wrong with someone partying with their kid all the time like that. Like I said, and she does. And these are her own words from her own article, which she allowed her daughter in. I'm not insinuating anything. I'm just saying my opinion is I wouldn't be that. I would go hang out with my friends backstage, but I wouldn't take my daughter there no matter what. If she wanted to go be a music journalist, let her go be the music journalist and figure it out. Don't come with your groupie mother. You know what I mean? And it's just, yeah, her success, what is your success? You sucked a mean dick, so you married a rich man and had a kid? I don't know if she's divorced. I don't know if she's widowed. I don't know what she does. So I'm not jealous of anything. Like I said, in this article, there's absolutely no work experience. You were just fucking living off other people. Not jealous of that, sweetie, because everything I've had, my Hermes purse, everything that I've got myself has been my own accomplishments. It has been me working. And people say stripping's not a business, you're some fucking whore. No, that's not it at all. First of all, I've proven that legally that I was never a whore, like you said in that Amazon review. That fake little Amazon review, which has since been removed. Anyway, so, because that backfired on her, trying to attack me in some very shallow way. I mean, how shallow she is makes the kiddie pool look like a drowning zone. You know what I mean? But she just went on there and said all these horrible things, and she's trying to be a strong name for the groupie. Well, I was giving you props and you were tearing me down. That is not fighting for the groupie name. How about watching the rest of my episodes? How about watching that episode at all? Because I said, okay, that's cool. She wasn't like the other. Yeah, anyway. So you guys can read all these comments and stuff and tell me what you think. Tell me what how do you feel about a woman who knows she's being used, but then keeps going back for more and more and more? In the 80s, we started calling them starfuckers. So that's the big difference between me and her. That's kind of my follow-up. Like I said, I'm doing this because I really wanted, I'd been talking to someone else about it who had also commented on it, Desiree, and she was like, what the fuck was that? She, messaged me on one of the social networks, and we just kind of started talking about it, and she's like, and who is she to talk about? She's the one that was degraded and kept going back for more, and she's like, and she thinks she's some big, strong, powerful movement. She's like, she was just young and stupid. She was just dumb. She just let herself be used, torn away, tossed to the side, and moved on. And I want to know how rich this businessman really was. Something tells me just no. Anyway, so okay, guys, tell me what you think. Tell me, what your opinion is now as compared to then. Watch both and then listen to this while I'm going through that article again. Because, I can't get on board with anybody who says an article full of calling groupies prostitutes is excellent journalism. Jesus Christ. Really? All right, you guys. So thank you to everybody who made it to the end of the episode for me. Thank you guys for all your patience lately. You guys fucking rock. I can't even tell you how awesome you are. How you guys have my back. How we have each other's back here. How we all just kind of know each other through all of our conversations. It's so amazing. So thank you everybody who got to the end of the episode. And if you got to the end of the episode and you're not a subscriber, go down, fiddle about. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe, hit the share, become a member, and hit my bell so you know when I'm on again. But all right, you guys, every Sunday and Wednesday I'm going to be here no matter what time it is. Sometimes I'm on camera, sometimes it's a podcast episode. Like I said, Kristen was supposed to be here, but we all had to change plans, and Danny was as well, so it was going to be a trifecta. But we are going to do that at another time, so you guys stay tuned. It's going to be Danny, Kristen, and me together. It's going to be fucking awesome. So, all right, guys, thank you again for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you see that Madame Petrini, go get him. It's a good gin. It's smooth. It's not as gross as the other gins. So, all right, you guys, we'll see you next time. Cheers, big ears.